Good evening. Welcome to the Board of Trustees meeting. And it is November 18th, 2025, and it is 7:04. Welcome to all of you. Welcome to you in our digital world and for those of you that take the time to view the video at another time. Thank you so much for your time. So tonight, prior to our board meeting, the board entered into executive session to discuss legal, real estate, and personnel matters. Additionally, we had the independent audit committee of the board met on Friday, November 14th, 2025. So I wanted to point that out as well. Let's go to the agenda, please. And a review of the agenda. Everybody okay with that?
It's an agenda.
Yeah. Let's go to a review of the minutes that we received in advance.
Mhm.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you, Alex, for that. Do we have a motion?
Motion to accept the minutes as submitted.
Thank you, Gus. Second, thank you. All in favor of the motion, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Abstentions? Motion carries. Thank you. So let's go to public input. At the moment, we see no public. We will go to public input at later in the meeting. Let's go to the CEO office report. And passing the baton to Melissa again.
Thank you, Dr. Colombo. Good evening, everyone. A few updates from my office over the past month. Our enrollment is holding steady at 627 students, which is great and consistent for our school community. Tonight I am making the recommendation that 2 of our employees receive acting services pay for helping to cover some vacancies, some temporary vacancies in our staffing. One is Laura Ashworth. She's been filling in as our middle school counselor. And Lisa Nicolosi has been helping to manage special education at our elementary campus.
So moved.
So we have a motion for acting pay.
Second.
And thank you. All in favor of the motion, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Thank you. Abstentions? Motion carries.
Our education committee met last Monday on the 10th. I did include for the entire board a copy of a Home and School Association handbook that the committee has been working on over the past 2 months. I'm not asking the board to approve it tonight, but I did want to share it with the board and ultimately with the public. This internal handbook is aimed at helping to reestablish the Home and School Association, or HASA, in our school community. This handbook provides a framework for this parent involvement platform and will be used to restart the association in the near future. It has some guiding principles, some objectives, talks about the type of events and activities that HASA can help support in the school community. And we hope that it will give this important committee a foundation going forward.
Do you want this to reflect minutes?
Sure. Yeah, thank you. Additionally, I included for the board just a copy of the October slide deck that I sent out to all of our staff that just shares some highlights over the past month, some data that we collected, some events that happened over the school community. And also to acknowledge, which the board is aware of, last week our elementary school was closed for 3 days due to some emergency boiler issues. But we are happy to report that we did reopen yesterday and welcome our students back to the campus. Also important to note, the elementary instructional schedule includes a higher number of instructional hours than are required by PDE. So at this point in time, no makeup days are required to account for those 3 days of emergency closure. Of course, depending on how the winter season goes and whatnot, that may have to be adjusted, or we could use some of our virtual days going forward. But as of right now, we have more than enough instructional hours to have a successful school year. Also important to highlight with the board, we did hire an athletic coordinator, and we are starting interviews for boys basketball coaches, hoping to get that program up and running as soon as possible. Another thing that I'm super excited to celebrate and highlight with the board, about a year and a half ago, the education committee worked on establishing a non-CTE industry-based learning credential. As a charter school, we do not, or we are not included in the funding formula for career and technical education, so our students don't go to LCTI. However, a non-CTE industry-based credential is something that schools can offer to their students that is in the spirit of CTE education, if you will. And we had 10 10th grade students at the conclusion of the first marking period earn a NOCTI workplace competency credential in employability skills, which is a credential that they can take with them to college, that they can include on resumes. To earn this credential, they have to take a 140 question exam. They do take a pre-test at the beginning of the marking period. They take a post-test at the end of the marking period. In between, they work through an online library of modules related to career readiness, employment skills, resume building, a wide plethora of really important lifelong skills that our students are learning, and these 10 students earn that credential, which is really exciting, and we are excited to recognize them for that.
Yeah. How do we recognize them? I mean, we give them a piece of paper that says you did this, and they can show that as evidence, or is that just part of the scholastic record?
So that is in the works. I sent an email in all capital letters to Mr. Burak and our high school counselor and the teacher that helped to proctor this class.
Okay.
Sharing my excitement for these students, and also that we need to plan a way to recognize them.
Yeah, it's not an equivalent of like a diploma or certificate or something.
Yeah, so there is a formal credentialed certificate that comes from NOCTI that
Right.
actually is like pretty sharp looking.
Oh,
But I think there's definitely other ways to recognize them within the high school itself and also in the greater school community. First, that, we offer this credential, which is really exciting, but also that we have students meeting the criteria to earn this credential. So these 10 students will definitely be recognized on a larger platform as
So
well.
this was open to all students and these 10 opted to do it, or how was it?
So all 10th grade students are scheduled for this course. So half of the 10th graders took it in the first marking period, the other half of the 10th graders will take it in the third marking period. So out of, I want to say 23 students can earn the credential.
oh,
So all 10th grade students have the opportunity to earn the credential.
okay.
Yeah.
Cool.
And that was all I wanted to highlight from this evening.
Yeah, and again, just for recognition,
Yeah.
is this something that would show up, at graduation, and whatever their credentials are, that this is something in their records,
Definitely,
something that would be documented there as well, so they can, put it in front of any college.
right,
Cool,
absolutely.
that is cool.
Could you remind me how many students took the test? 10,
23,
23, and 10?
10 earned the credential, yeah.
Sorry.
Yeah, and then what remains are the remaining
Smart.
Yeah,
13.
Yeah.
Good for them.
yeah, absolutely.
Way cool.
Thank you, Alyssa. Any questions, comments for our CEO? No? Thank you. Let's move to our principal offices. And so first we have our middle school report, our principal.
Thank you very much. So to start off, I have a couple of shout outs, some of our staff that I want to give a shout out to. Miss Mulcahy, Ms. Brutz. She delivered an IU, presentation at the IU for ESL teachers, across the county, and we were reached out to be informed of how she really did a great job presenting and how her information was, really rigorously developed and connected to research. And we also had the opportunity to have that same PD essentially provided to our staff. So it was a pretty nice gift for us. I want to give a shout out to Miss Ashworth, who has really been doing double duty as middle school and high school counselor. She's quite the asset. Mr. Grady is one of our new teachers this year, and he is always visible. He is in the cafeteria, he's outside, he's in the hallways, he's in my office, he is in my ear, he is everywhere. He is always willing to take the lead for anything eighth grade related. Tends to be where his homeroom, he's an eighth grade homeroom teacher. He does serve seventh and eighth grade students as social studies teacher. He is a tremendous RCCS contributor and the kids absolutely adore him. So we are very lucky to have him as a new teacher. Ms. Morales is our middle school special ed teacher, and she too is just anywhere that we need her to be. We've had, Johnson was one of our people that ran our middle school door, and you literally don't have to ask Ms. Morales. She shows up there every day. She is always, willing to lend that helping hand, and she is a loud, staunch advocate for all of our special ed students and really advocates for best practice, not just for them, but for everybody. And so we are thankful for her. I want to give a shout out to my student council students. They are really, 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 really planful with lots of ideas. Sometimes it's hard to reel them all in, but they, again, are great representatives of the RCCS vision, and I couldn't ask for a more energetic bunch. We finally got a senior today. So I am so excited. We now have representation from all of the grade levels. They have so far put together Spirit Week. We are now functioning school store. Oh, and I have to give a shout out to facilities because you should see the school store cart that they helped rig for me. It is pretty fantastic. So I'll get into the school store in a minute. I have a new eighth grade teacher, so we are fully staffed in that position. So Mr. Salmon has joined us, and a shout out to our students who earned honor roll and high honor roll. We had 34 middle school students earn high honor roll and 17 earn honor roll. So third of our students earned honor roll first quarter, and it was kind of infectious, I gotta say. The ones who missed it, they want a taste of that pie. So all good in the honor roll land. So moving into attendance, one of the things I put together is a data dashboard. So that's on page 2. I have our PSSA and Keystone results kind of as a guiding piece, a school-wide goal of everybody making 10% gains by the end of the year. So you can see where our quarterly benchmarks are. I'll highlight that more on the other page of this. So you can see where we're at with ELA, with math, grades 6, 7th, and 8th. I can also take a look at our non-instructional data for attendance, our level 1 referrals and our level 2 referrals. I am happy to report that our positive office referrals have increased. We are not seeing the correlation in the decrease of the discipline referrals. But I'm okay with that. I guess I have a little bit of a reputation right now as being very strict. So my expectations are that our students are going to demonstrate the qualities of an RCCS student, and there's really not a whole lot of wiggle room with that. And we'll get there. I've had some great conversations with kids around that. On the back, you can see where we're at in terms of moving students from our baseline, how many students we had demonstrating proficiency or advanced on our baseline star, our target for the first quarter, and where we ended up for the first quarter. That also, we also have mapped out what our goals are, our targets are for the second quarter, third quarter, fourth quarter to get us to that 10% gain. So as you can see, ELA did not make the gains this quarter. From baseline to first, we actually saw a decline in ELA. We did see some really nice growth in math. So we moved 3 kids already first quarter into proficient or advanced in 6th grade, and we moved 6 kids from proficient or into proficient and advanced in eighth grade. So eighth grade math has already exceeded their end of year target. So their end of year target will change because we will continue moving kids. So what I can tell you about that is, instruction, what I see instructionally in those classrooms where we are seeing gains are crystal clear expectations. There is explicit and differentiated instruction happening. They are using, two different methods. So it is kind of reassuring that different learning styles can be met different ways. So those two classrooms, if you walked into them, it's two different vibes. But what is consistent about them is student behavior is locked down, for lack of a better word. Kids are respected, kids are given clear expectations, and kids are celebrated when they meet those expectations. So, what else do I want to talk about? Attendance kind of holds steady with attendance, went down a little bit, sixth grade. So just to talk about attendance then, in regards to the data dashboard, we have been paying attention to some trends, safety calls. We make during the first 5 absences and after those 5 absences, we have parent meetings, which is a little bit in front of when the parent meetings are typically required. Just because we'd like to get in front of it and find out if we can help solve the problem before the problem becomes punitive. And then every absence thereafter, there is some kind of personal conversation. So our students who are on the trajectory are not getting robocalls necessarily, they're getting in-person calls. Academics, so I showed you my data dashboard, some of the things in response to what we're seeing and, some of the root causes that we're throwing around out there in terms of why we think our students are struggling. A lot of it has to do with organization, with their learning, with their studying habits, their learning habits. So one of the things that has been instituted, sixth grade, we've got student planners for them. I personally think they should be in sixth, seventh, and eighth grade, but we're doing a soft launch with them, and it has gone really, really well in sixth grade. So they started that first day of the second quarter, and it has been a great communication tool with parents that, in addition to remind. The other expectation that I have put into place is that I was seeing a lot of students in classrooms without papers and pencils and notebooks and pencils. I see kids walking into school without backpacks and without notebooks. And I'm curious how we're setting them up for study habits and for lifelong learning without these tools. So my expectation is every student should have note-taking materials in their classroom at all times. And they should not be leaving them in the classroom. They should be taking them with them, taking them home, learning how to manage these things. Hence the planners.
Bringing them back.
So
Yeah.
to that effect, we have opened a school store to provide a very, very cheap and accessible access to the basics: notebooks, planners, pencils, highlighters, Post-it notes, erasers.
Wow.
If there's something else that we feel collectively that would contribute to their, organizational skills and study skills, we'll add it in there. So student council is running all of that. And I can't get them off my back. They would run it 5 days a week, every period of the day. We're focusing on engagement strategies. We have PD again followed up that we're going to follow up with that in next week. And some of the other things that we're doing, targeted use of seminar periods. So we're trying to be responsive to that. We've decided, motivation, student buy-in, executive functioning skills, all those things have been an area of focus. So we're still working on SEL. And we are maintaining an expectation that at least one of those seminar days every week is used for college and career exploration. So we've had some fun stuff come out of that.
Mm.
Just expectations for environmental print, teachers teaching in dark classrooms, not down with that. So I've explicitly stated expectations for the lights to be on, so maybe the electric bill will go up. And for middle school students to have assigned seats, because they're not very regulated. So we have them assigned seats both in the classrooms and in their lunchrooms. Was very unpopular at first, but the kids are actually pretty cool with it. It's going really well, at least in the lunchroom.
Yeah, quick
I've
question.
had, yep,
Just my own ignorance. What is SEL again? SEL?
social emotional learning.
Okay.
So self-regulation, cognitive flexibility. I've also had one-on-one teacher meetings to talk about their grading practices, alignment of instruction standards, their lesson planning practices, have some conversations and coaching around classroom management. And then for discipline, we have been going at it hard. If I get a code B that's called, I expect there to be a Sapphire referral written up. If I'm called to a classroom and it takes instructional time, and we're gonna deal with it. We have PBS and our incentives happening, and we've had some tier 2 support groups. And we'll continue with that. The analysis of this month's data is that when we look at our discipline referrals and we see that there's 28 and that went up from 21, 20 of those 28 came from 4 students. So we have a tier 2 problem. We don't have a 7th grade problem. It's not the collective bunch of 7th graders. So we have to stop treating the whole group and really find some targeted and supportive practices for a specific number of students. So college and career, we had the US Air Force there on our college career day. We also met with our 7th and 8th grade students at the end of the day. That was my daughter. She was home on leave. I put her to work. And we, like I said, we have our college and career exploration every Friday. And we've had a couple middle school field trips so far to colleges this month. So they have been super, super well received. I think this is a good year. 8th grade's a good year to start getting them into that. Bilingual activities, PD, we've had around our bilingual activities. It is a continued focus of common planning. And our our ESL teacher has started a speaking and listening class, which has been responsive to where one of our gaps is for our READA students. And it's game-based. It's absolutely a wonderful idea. And I think she's gonna get a lot of momentum out of that. Professional development, working on lesson planning, alignment, expectations, the vector training that's going on. And we have surveyed the teachers to find out what it is that they wanted PD on, and then just a list of our upcoming events and focus areas.
Thank you so much, Debbie.
Thank you.
Brenda, here's a quick question. If I could.
Yep.
So on your second page, the
Mhm.
report here. In the front of that certainly references the PSSA.
Yep.
Keystone results, so I follow that, okay. On the back of that page. So it's titled quarterly instructional target,
Mm-hmm.
like. What does that mean? Or, I mean, is that another standardized testing?
No, so this is so for example, we have 51 students that were assessed at baseline in 6th grade.
Oh, okay.
And 13 of them were proficient or advanced on that baseline.
For our internal benchmarking.
For our internal benchmarking. So if our internal benchmarking correlates to the PSSA, which
Okay,
ideally it should,
okay,
got
got it.
if we want to show a 10% gain,
Mhm.
we want to figure out, all right, well, what's 10% increase? That puts
Yeah,
us
no,
at 18.
yeah, I get.
And
I
then
get
the
that.
quarterly
Again,
targets are, where do we need to be each quarter?
Yep.
How many students do we need each quarter to get there?
And
and-
my other question, which you did answer, I wasn't sure like where that baseline was coming from, but that was from previous.
That was, yes, from our September benchmark.
Right.
Yep,
Got it. Thank you.
thank you.
Thank you. Any other questions or comments for Janice? Thank you again, Janice.
you.
Thank you, middle school. And let's go to the high schools. Josh?
Okay, thank you. I have a few shout outs that I'll start out with. First off is, we did complete our second round of STAR testing and many of our kids were very excited and motivated this time around compared to the first time. And we did have quite a bit of growth overall in the high school. As part of their, reward for making growth in both math and reading. They made sufficient growth or were proficient in advanced and even both of those, they earn an ice cream social on Friday. So we have 46 students who will be invited to that. And they're all pretty excited about that one. Our honor roll and high honor roll students are there. Want to shout them out as well for doing a great job in quarter one. I want to give a shout out to the 10th grade and Mrs. Usher, their advisor. They ran a pretty successful basketball night tournament. That was a tournament between all the grades. So there was a 9th grade team, there was a 10th grade and 11th grade team. They were kind of combined. There's a 12th grade team. And the 10th and 11th grade team dethroned the 12th grade. So that was a pretty exciting end. It was a buzzer beater right at the end. And
Next one will include 6, 7, and 8.
yeah, and it was a pretty successful night overall, and she's planning on doing another one in December. It will be a 3v3 tournament, and we are allowing middle school to participate in this one. So it should be a fun night.
Yeah.
And I did want to give a shout out to Miss Rivera, who is our new athletic coordinator, and she's been doing an awesome job as IA, and she's already in my ear about ideas and things she has in mind for the athletic coordinator and for basketball and volleyball and everything. So we're really excited about that.
Yeah, quick question.
Sure.
Just because I see the numbers the same. First bullet, 46 students earning the social, aren't earning the ice cream. And the 46 honor roll students, that's two independent numbers that happen to be the same.
Yeah, correct.
That's what I thought. Okay,
Yeah.
good.
Mhm. I do have our attendance here for October. They've all pretty much stayed the same, although seniors did go up about 1 percentage point. So we're happy that the seniors are kind of starting to show up a little bit more. We're hoping to keep encouraging them, so they're a little bit less checked out. But yeah, we stayed pretty much the same with attendance. And then coming down to our STAR test data. Again, overall, we had some pretty good growth in all of our grades. Math increased by statistically noticeable amount and significant amount. So we're pretty happy about that. Our 9th grade absolutely crushed this benchmark. As a whole, on average, the whole 9th grade class moved up 29 points in math on average and 24 points on average in reading. And you can see a breakdown for where they were at the beginning of the year to where they were now. We had a lot of kids move from below basic to either basic or proficient. So overall, we had some growth there in both math and reading.
Yeah, so you want the numbers below basic to go down.
Right.
Correct, yeah.
So we had a couple of increases, but. Okay.
And then for our discipline report for October, we had 14 level 2s, 3 level 5s. One of the biggest things that we're kind of cracking down on right now is some of the language that our high schoolers are using in classes and in the hallways. And we just we've been encouraging them and really kind of hounding them with disciplinary write-ups and referrals for how they're talking in school. We want them to learn that when you're in college or in a job or in a professional setting, you should be using certain language and avoiding other language. We've done extended lunch detentions, after school detentions, conferences with parents, phone calls with parents. Positive office referrals, we had 59. We're still getting quite a bit of those in the high school. They like getting a shout out. They get the shout out now in our live news broadcasts, so they like hearing their names on that. And so, yeah, that's been going well. And then we have some, college and career updates here, that you can read through. And yeah, we will be doing professional development. Tomorrow we'll be talking about, we'll be looking a little bit more at our STAR testing data. We're also gonna be talking about, keystones and logistics for keystone exams, because we do have, some, winter keystones coming up after the break. And so we will be talking about all of that. And one of the topics that, I've been talking a lot with my teachers is, a lot of them have expressed concerns with things like, student engagement in their classroom. They want to know different ways and ideas to increase in student engagement. So that's something that, I'm gonna be working more with teachers one-on-one and with my common planning groups to, you know, see what's working, what stuff can be changed and added. That's pretty much it. The rest is some events going on. Something that's not on here that's kind of coming up. My chess club is, we are participating or engaging in a chess tournament with LVA Academy, in a couple weeks. So they're getting pretty excited about that. I'm pretty confident that we're gonna smoke them,
You
but I don't
better.
wanna be. Yeah.
I can't make that a condition, I have permission.
No, don't worry, they can, mitigation will be punishment enough.
We have Zabdiel.
Oh,
That's all I have to say.
Just versus who?
Lehigh Valley Academy.
Another charter school.
Yeah.
Thank you, Josh. Thanks so much for the high school report. Questions, comments for Josh?
I do want to give a shout out to Mr. Burek, his live broadcast. It really is pretty phenomenal. When the kids actually learn how to listen in homeroom, it's going to be even better. I think it's spectacular that things like, they used to do this senior shout out where they'd have a kid come to the front of the school and they'd, you know, have a little fanfare there in the hallway celebrating when a kid got accepted into college. Now everybody gets to see it. The sixth graders see it, the seventh graders see it. So it's just one of those great things. It's just one example of a great thing that's gonna help build some momentum around all this continuity. So good job, Mr. Burek.
Well, shout out to my news crew, because
He's
couple
really
weeks
neat.
ago, I just turned it over to them. I said, good luck, you guys. I taught you enough, I think, hopefully. And they've been running it on their own now for the last few weeks, so.
You
I'm pretty
definitely,
proud.
you should send one out.
Yeah.
I can-
Yeah.
We could
It's very
enjoy
cool.
that.
What's the primary age of the ones that are doing that?
They're all,
Seniors?
they're all freshmen.
Yeah.
All fresh?
They're all freshmen.
Yeah,
Way
Yeah.
cool.
yeah.
That's cool, okay.
Yeah.
He will have to suffer through Mr. Burek's horrible joke of the day.
Is it like dad jokes?
It's
It's like bad
You
jokes.
know, you need to get a recording that goes wah, wah.
Oh, yeah. It's around recordings like that.
I have a question regarding the 29 points on the math and 24 in reading.
Yeah,
Yeah,
How does that translate percentage wise? Is that raw scores or is that?
that is an average of the scaled score for those grade, for that grade, for ninth grade.
I don't
So
know
it's
what
not
that
a
means.
percentage per se, it's just that on average, each kid moved up 29 points.
29 out of 100, 29 out of 50?
1,200, 1,300, like below basic is, I mean, very roughly speaking, between 1,000 and 1,100. Basic between 1,100 and 1,200.
So these are just points,
Yes.
an increase in the points.
Yes.
Yeah, so, I
In
guess
the-
his idea is getting a sense of, you know, that one might be a 10% increase, or, you know, one could be a 0.1% increase.
For sure.
What does it mean?
It's depending on where they're falling within the range for that
Yeah. All right,
proficiency level, if you will. It could either take them over to the next highest
right.
category, or they could, you know, still just kind of be moving through where they're at.
These tests are adaptive, right?
Yeah.
are.
So they.
Thank you. Let's move on to the elementary school. Lori and Brittany.
Good evening, everyone. Starting with our attendance, we were still over 96%, but we did see a slight drop, so it's good, but internally not good, you know. It is still fantastic, but we like to see by 96% going to 97%.
Well, you got one.
Moving into the academic achievement, marking period one benchmarks were wrapped up mid-October. You can see in our charts there. We gave the averages per grade for students that are at or above benchmarks, so that's proficient or advanced. We then use that data to accurately place students for marking period groups to better suit their academic needs. Moving into discipline. We had one level 2 and one level 3. The level 3 with administrative decision, we decided to take action with an in-school suspension for that one student. We did have 29 level 1, that is down by 11 since last month. So we are seeing a decrease in even our level 1s. Moving into kind of the incidents for August, we went down by 1 incident. For September, we went down from last year. We went down 10 incidents, and in October, we went down 13 incidents. With last year's incident infraction codes in August, last August compared to this August, we went down 6 incident codes. From September 5, we went down. In October, we went down 10. So we are seeing that our numbers are going down with some of the incentives that we have in place, and that we are having students target the largest barrier so we can address those more accurately with the students, whether it's by going into each grade level, by meeting with students individually, kind of helping teachers with some classroom management strategies. But we do see that we are on target to meeting our internal goal of decreasing these incidents and infraction codes. Also, moving into our positive office referrals. In October, we definitely rocked it with 126 positive office referrals. It was a full month in October. We had pretty much every day there. November, I'm hoping to see at least half that, with a couple of days that we had off with building issues, and then also with the holiday coming up. Something that I know we talked about last time is I'm doing a PBIS cart where I go around with my wheel of prizes, the claw machine, the student certificates, and the brag tag, but I've upped it a notch, and now I dress in a Cokie outfit when I go in, just like that's me and my Cokie. So once a week I'll dress in that just to get them a little excited. I kind of peek my head in the window so they can see me and kind of get excited and kind of want to earn those awards each week. We also did a marking period 1 Cokie challenge, which aligned with our qualities of a successful learner, and each marking period we will target one of those qualities. So marking period 1 was earning green frogs as a whole for being respectful. At the end of the marking period, I messaged each grade level or each homeroom teacher what their number of green frogs was. Whatever grade level had the most green frogs, they will be the winner of that quality of a successful learner for that marking period. They then get to pick out of a couple prizes how they want to be celebrated for meeting that quality. And our first graders, I would like to celebrate, won the marking period challenge for being the most respectful, and they chose a dance party or glow stick dance party. So as a grade, we will once we have a big enough location in the building, we will celebrate with our glow sticks and kind of have a dance party.
So you guys are gonna dance, right?
Mr. Snyder's going to dance.
I want that.
Hop around, yeah. But that is all on my end of positive.
Get it on film.
Yeah.
We do. Wait until next month. Moving into college and career activities, we did have quite a few college and career presenters come in. We had a real estate agent, a physical therapist, and also UGI came in to do a safety presentation. In addition, our school counselor is doing some focus lessons with our fifth grade students, that college and career part, looking at interest, skills, and values heading into potential careers. And she also started the Safer Smarter curriculum with fifth grade, and she was still wrapping up just based on student need and what we're hearing coming out of our common planning meetings. The students need some targeted lessons on impulse control.
Yeah.
Yeah, a lot of impulse control lessons and support. Last month I did mention about Fiesta Latina, and again, Michael and Gus, thank you for being there and supporting us. We did tally all the numbers. We had a total of 377 people squeeze into the parking lot. And
Yeah.
of that number, 126 represented families.
Yep.
So again, it was a
It was kinda
fantastic
cool.
event. It is easily our biggest event of the school year, and if we could do it more than once, we would. Some professional development, we are still meeting with those grade level department teams. As I mentioned last month, we are refining some of the approaches, but we are continuing to focus on reading, math, and student discipline. As also right now, since we finished our marking period, benchmark testing, we're pulling in more data analysis, so that way the teachers are able to work with that in real time. They're able to do some goal setting and planning with us. In October, we did have a professional development day that was led internally by us. We focused on domain 1 of the educator effectiveness rubric, which is planning and preparation. And then we also followed up, I was just naming it the behavior blueprint, that's why it's in quotes. Yeah, it was a little catchy. We did something similar at the beginning of the school year, just looking at all of our student discipline data, commonalities, trends, etc. And the teachers were able to give us some feedback based on what they see in their classrooms for us to focus on. So we did wrap back around just as where we are, how this is translating now that we're a month, 2 months into the school year. Fall festival, I am so thankful that there are no interruptions this year, whether weather or citywide. It was a fantastic event. We had 12 families who volunteered to attend the trunk or treat and pass out. We even had families this year who said, I don't have access to a vehicle. Can you set me up a table? I still want to come. Absolutely. Come over and join us. So the kids loved it. They had a wonderful day. And just a side note with that, facilities, thank you for cleaning up all the mess afterwards. It was, the hay bales were fun, but not the cleanup. And then celebrating, again, just coming back to Fall Festival and Fiesta Latina. We could not have done that without the help of all the teachers, the families, the parents, the supporting staff members and departments. So just thank you to everybody who had a hand in that and preparing for it, planning it, and just carrying it out. And then coming back, I know I mentioned Miss Byerly and Mr. Tardo are ready this year, but they are continuing to provide ESL related professional development for our staff. They actually have one scheduled for tomorrow, which I'll speak more about next month. But they are really taking, this focus on EL learners at the elementary school and running with it. So I really appreciate what they're doing. And then the calendar of events, it's going to be a busy time for the next couple of weeks.
Thank you, Brittany. Thank you, Paul. Questions, comments for the elementary principals or the
Yeah.
elementary school?
I'm
Thank
gonna go back to the numbers, because I'm
Mhm.
These percentages are the percentage of students currently in first grade who are at or above benchmark. Is that how I'm reading that
Yes.
correctly? Okay. Good.
And for math, they
That's all.
are 3 independent numbers. It wasn't a misprint. It's
Huh?
30, for math,
Oh,
it's
yeah.
32, 32, 32.
Oh,
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
They are.
they're, yes, I asked her about like 6 times, so just making sure.
Someone fell asleep.
I forgot where I was copying and pasting.
Thank you.
So thank you, principal's office.
I
Let's
have a
move.
question for the board, if I'm. So, I mean, we're presenting our benchmark data and our attendance data. Is there any other data that you? I know kids show success in many ways, and I know that schools are measured by success in many ways. Is there any other data that you'd like us to have as part of this, or anything else that we can look at to measure success differently?
My perspective, I'm happy that we're measuring. Okay, let's get a trend out of these, and then we can begin to look back and say, if I needed to tweak, what would I tweak? Well, I would try to do encourage this behavior,
Very good.
and then just introduce that as another one, rather than just throwing it, just something and see what sticks, right?
Very good.
Because the discipline of gathering it is in and of itself a learning experience and important to establish, a credibility in, you know, how you're gathering it and it's meaningful.
I mean, I think it's the same with all of these numbers, it's the trends we're interested in, really. The numbers in themselves don't mean much to us if we can't see, you know, which way it's going.
Right, okay,
So the trends are key, I
Yeah.
think.
thank you.
But, you know, in any of the stuff, your other measures, you know, you feel discipline's important or whatever you feel is important.
Yeah,
And seeing growth in that. and
Yeah, it's
reporting
a whole growth thing that we're really interested.
It will be interesting for me to see those students who are at the basic
yeah,
and below basic. Compare those with those who are at or above. What is it about those students that is different academically? I mean, life happens, we all get that. But academically, what is it? It could be the same grade, 10th grade. I mean, I was very excited about, that's why I asked how many
yeah.
students, the 10 out of 23, that's about 44%. Like, what is it about that particular test, that particular module that they looked at, that particular whole experience that
Allowed that
got
many
us
students.
a large percentage compared to math? We're looking at 2%, 10%, you know, like,
Mhm.
what is it about that? Maybe some qualitative data, there you go, qualitative data. What about the qualitative data
We all
that
have our bias.
give us, who knows that? Maybe we could triangulate.
Oh, gosh.
Oh, yeah.
I learned. But I think that would be important to, I think interesting to see, like, what is it about to get it? You know, it's something that they're probably very interested in, but those are all speculation. Those are all, you know, that's what I think.
Mhm.
Like,
Yeah, it's hard, you know, because I mean, we get the numbers and the children are all different. I mean, you understand that. But, you know, if we're serious about trying to find the things to really focus on, we've got to somehow tease out. I mean, it was like finding out how to get kids into college most successfully. I mean, we seem to have learned that lesson quite well in terms of, you know, bringing students back and, you know, the whole piece that you're talking
Yeah.
about, exposing them at certain ages to the idea of college. I mean, we do, that does seem to have been a success story for us. I mean, it's the expectation now, but it's also something that they visualize much better, I think. But we had to learn that, it didn't just come. You know, so I think we're trying to do the same now, maybe with, you know, what is it that's gonna improve the English scores or the math scores, you know, I mean, and sometimes you have to look at the particular, you know, a particular group that's doing particularly well or something like that to get that, you know, to get some clues about what might work for other people too, so. It's a lot to ask, I know, but I mean, if you want, you want the academic answer, that's what we're really looking for, the trends are important, I think, you know.
Thank you.
Thank you. Let's go to human resources. Michael, thank you.
Good evening, everyone. First, we're asking the board to ratify a new hire, Stephanie Cabrera, part-time instructional assistant for the high school. And the assignment of a few current employees into new position appointments. Madeline Rivera, as we mentioned, she took a part-time athletic coordinator position. Amari Santana Duran, full-time assistant food service manager, and Kiara Lozano, full-time middle school guidance counselor. I'll stop there for a motion.
Okay, so we need a motion, please, for approval of these personnel appointments for these new hires.
I'll make that motion.
Thank you, John. We need a second, please.
Second,
Thank you, Jill. All in favor of the motion, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Abstentions? Motion passes. Thank you.
Okay, we had a couple of resignations since the last meeting and a probationary dismissal. I'll stop there for a motion.
All right, we need a motion, please, for to approval of just resignations and
No, we need dismissals one thing and resignations.
okay, let's do resignations. Do we have a motion for the two resignations?
Accept the resignation.
Do we accept?
So moved.
Thank you, John. Second?
second,
Thank you, Kathy. All in favor of the motion, please say aye.
Aye.
aye,
Opposed? Abstentions? Motion carries. Now we need a motion, please, for approval of the probationary dismissal.
Motion to approve this.
Probationary dismissal. Thank you.
Dismissal.
Okay, thank you, Jill. We need a second, please.
Second.
Thank you, Ray. All in favor of the motion, please say aye.
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 Opposed? Abstentions? Motion carries.
We're also seeking from the board to ratify the employment agreement addendums for our newly hired instructional aide, Ms. Cabrera, and for Ms. Lemon, who will be assuming extra duties during the second marking period at the secondary school.
So we need a motion, please, for approval of these employment agreement addendums for these two employees.
So moved.
Thank you, Gus.
Second.
John, thank you. Second, all in favor of the motion, please say aye.
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 Opposed? Abstentions? Motion carries.
Stepping up.
Okay, we continue to actively recruit for several vacancies. These include a part-time instructional assistant and a temporary full-time long-term substitute teacher for special ed, both positions at the elementary level, a full-time administrative assistant and slash attendance coordinator for the middle school, and as we earlier mentioned, a part-time boys basketball head coach and assistant coach for the high school. We're also searching for a full-time assistant facilities manager and a full-time custodian. Both of these positions for our second shift. A full-time school social worker, though we have made an offer and it was accepted, we're still waiting for required documentation, so we expect to fully report this on our next meeting this month. And finally, a part-time cook and a part-time cafeteria aide for the food service department. And that's all for the HR report.
Thank you, Michael. Any questions, comments for the HR report? For Michael? Thank you. Let's go move to the business
Yeah,
office.
I'm
please.
sorry, I did not,
I'm
while
sorry.
he was talking. What's our outlook, filling these?
Right now,
Are we optimistic? Pipeline?
I'm optimistic, for a couple of them, like we have scheduled, interviews. For the administrative assistant, we have, some already on the horizon, that we will be making hopefully offers to.
So some is.
So- Yeah, the list should, by next month, we should have released maybe third, I'm not gonna say half, but a third of that out.
Thank you.
We'll remain optimistic.
Yep.
Let's go to the business office. Chuck, please.
Thanks, we did have our finance committee meeting, Friday. Review these reports. I'll point out that, third and fourth bullet point, some of the 363 forms that we have received and ones we have not. Obviously, Allentown School District being the most substantial one, so the income statement that you're looking at is still based on billing them at 24-25 rates until we get that 363.
Huh.
We did post the year end, the 24-25 year end audit entries. So some of the balance sheet items have been updated. The unassigned fund balance is sitting at 1.6 million, which is about 14.5% of the school's operating budget. And then the October disbursement list went out as well. That was at a little over $1.4 million. That's almost double what we would typically see in a month. We did have 3 pay periods in the month of October. That really 4, if you consider the first pay was also the years of service awards that were paid out. That number ran around 165,000 alone. So it's almost like having 4 pay periods in.
Yeah, but especially this, why are we not paying at the 25-26 rate rather than the?
Because the form wasn't complete yet, we don't have a rate.
Oh, we don't have a rate from PE?
No, it comes from the school district. Technically, they're supposed to have those forms into us by the end of November.
Oh, all right,
But-
okay.
Nobody holds them accountable.
If they don't, no, it's not gonna be, it doesn't just the one in the school districts.
We get it when we get it. Basically.
Get it when you get it. Any other questions, for payment list or? Expense reports?
Oh. That was your financial report, though.
Yeah, and the payment list.
Well, we still have to approve the payment.
Are we ready to go to the outside agreement list?
We just have to approve it. Here, this here.
But I'll answer questions before you approve it.
Any questions on the October payment list for Chuck?
Yeah, motion to approve the October payment list as submitted.
Thank you, Gus. We need a second, please.
Second.
Thank you, John. All in favor of the motion, please say aye.
Uh,
Opposed? Abstentions? Motion carries.
Just a few other things at the bottom of the first page of the business report, those last two bullet points. So remember back in June, the board did vote on the 418 form, which is our lead reimbursement form. Well, it's finally been approved. It was literally approved about 2 hours after the state passed its budget, so I'm sure there was a whole few of things that we're waiting to be approved. So we did file the 419 form the next day, so we should be seeing that reimbursement within the next few months. And then that last bullet point, obviously the AFR is the most significant financial report that we file every year with the formal state report. So we do get an automatic 30-day extension. They're technically due by the end of October, but you get an automatic extension to the end of November. So I had that report the last week of October and I've been going through it. So I did get back to the folks who file it today. I think that'll probably go out tomorrow. There weren't a couple corrections, but nothing big. So that report I'll have at next month's meeting. It doesn't have to be approved or anything, but we can
Right.
present it just for informational purposes. So, but just to let you know that will be filed on time. And then on the actually the last two bullet points on the second page, business report. In case anybody was sleeping over the last week or so, both the state and federal budgets were approved. They were actually approved on the same day, so. As I've heard several times now, the government can shut down overnight, but they can't reopen overnight. So even though they're open, this money is gonna be a while till that money comes back. Obviously, we have enough cash reserves, so we get into the full swing of things. And then the audit, again, they're done with all the field work. Usually I have a report by December. We because of the shutdown on the federal level, there's some compliance guidelines that come down from the feds to the auditors throughout the country. So they know what they need in their single audit reports, which we do have to go through one. So obviously that's all backed up. So I told them at this point, we could just wait instead of getting two reports issued. We could actually get our basic audit report issued and do a single audit report, 2 months later. At this point, there's no need for that. The only thing that really needs to be, that has a deadline, a hard deadline, is that AFR. That AFR, those numbers are already audited. Has nothing to do with the single audit. So just keep everybody updated. That audit report will probably get to you guys into the audit committee probably after the holidays.
Yeah. That doesn't require, that's for information purposes, doesn't require approval for us.
The audit, yeah, once the audit goes through the audit committee, we usually get that in front of the board for approval. So that'll probably be like February.
Yeah. We're not holding anything.
No, it's not holding anything up with this one. No. And then lastly, I know we do have on the agenda under contracts and agreements with Board of Repair Services. We don't technically have any contracts or agreements. We've had, there's a lot of moving cases with that project, everything from abatement to masonry work, electrical work, the actual boiler lines themselves. So the project looks like it's gonna be right around that $30,000 mark. The actual proposals with the landlord right now, so I should hear back from them tomorrow. The only thing that we did get started with already was the abatement services, because that we have to file some paperwork. Not us, when we're paying somebody to do it. So this, we have to get a permit from the state. And that can hold everything up if you don't get it moving. So that bill really would just come under our general maintenance anyway. It's about a $2,000 bill. So we went ahead, we're gonna make arrangements to pay that and get that moving. But the rest of the project, which is like gonna be somewhere around that 30,000, that's all sitting with the landlord, so.
And that's their responsibility.
Well,
Well, I haven't talked to them yet. It just went over to them today. So. Yeah,
it should, this is.
Yeah.
Is it for which building, the main building?
the elementary school.
Oh, the elementary school.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, so really quick, what happened?
Right.
We have, there's lines that run underground underneath the cafeteria floor that go to the boiler. They're leaking. There were two options. We could go underground or over top. Underground is gonna be way too extensive.
Yeah.
Take months to do that, to tear all that stuff up. So what we can do is go over. That requires having pumps, because obviously gravity. Probably the most complicated part is really, boring out those holes, because those walls are massively thick. And it's awful messy and awful loud, and so arrangements would have to be made with that, but, running the lines themselves shouldn't really take that long.
Now, that's something that the landlord, eventually make a decision.
Correct, yeah. Yeah, so we would have to, again, nothing can be done until the asbestos is taken care of. So we're in the process of filing that paperwork. So even if we were ready today, nobody can do anything. So landlord's looking over it.
So obviously, and I'm staying in the office, and the landlord is certainly aware of the problem.
Yes,
They came out the
Okay.
day up. They
Yeah,
sent someone over. They were on site. Yeah.
But they wanted us to go and get, potential, estimates for repairs and use them. They wanted us to do that.
well, when there was the initial leak, we weren't sure if that was something minor or something major. So we already kind of had some boots on the ground already,
Okay.
had the wall
Okay.
opened up.
Okay.
So
So then through that initial process, they came back and said, no, this, and this has to be done. And that's gonna be approximately $30,000.
that is correct. And so all that goes to the landlord now. If HAO wants to bring in several other, they can absolutely do that. They're well within their right to do that. Clearly, they know the months are getting colder, not warmer, so I would expect, HAO would move pretty fast on that.
Okay.
We haven't had any issues with that.
So the responsibility to repair it, given the facility belongs to the landlord. They can always raise our rent, but are we writing the repair check? Okay.
Yeah, there's
It's on them.
clear stipulations in our lease.
When we put this on as an agenda item, we weren't sure what the cost would be.
Right,
And we wanted to have it there just in case it would fall under the threshold in which the school would be responsible for the cost.
Okay, so the 30K, we're not expecting to be writing a $30,000 check.
Correct.
Okay, but
The landlord
that's,
has his own insurance on the building.
oh, yeah.
yeah. Yeah, but I wasn't sure if anything's being attributed to us, then we're writing a check to cover whatever it is and how it cost.
Now, again, the only check we're writing is
The
the,
2K.
that 2 day for you.
Yeah.
Yeah, I have no problem with that. Okay.
So administratively, we don't have a motion for
So
boiler
no.
repair services,
No, so it was just information.
but updating us, thanks.
Right.
So, thank you, Chuck. Any questions for the business office? Questions, comments?
Do you know what the food services want to do? I'm sorry, which one?
Food services? It's more for the à la carte items. Oh, so like preference? Yeah, preferences and then kind of tell them a little bit more. Those students, students, yeah.
Thank you, Chuck. Let's go to public input. Seeing no public, let's move to new business. Any new business that anyone wants to bring up? And seeing no new business, do we have a motion to adjourn?
Please.
Thank you.
I mean, yes.
Thank you, Alice. What was that? All in favor? Or do we have a motion and a second? Who's our second? Thank you, John. And all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed, abstentions, motion carries. Thank you all for being here. Have a wonderful Thanksgiving holiday.
Have a great